What is going on, fight fans? Welcome back to another show. It's just me and Joseph Ugly Man Holmes this time, but Joseph, it's always a pleasure talking to you. We got another great card, UFC Kansas City this Saturday. Obviously, it's in Kansas City, Missouri, headlined by Max Holloway and Arnold Allen, and is the main event. Max Holloway, the favorite, minus 170. Arnold Allen, the dog, plus 145. So as always, we'll start right at the top of the card. Who do you see winning this fight, man? How do you feel like this monster featherweight bout is going to play out?
I am excited, dude. I'm a huge Max Holloway fan. I have been watching a lot more of Arnold Allen lately. I fought on maybe 2 cards with him, but he's really good, man. He seems really motivated and driven. But I'm gonna go as way of Max Holloway decision.
I mean, it's hard not to go with Max, right? When you look at who he's lost to, I mean, he lost to Volkanovski 3 times, and he lost to Dustin Poirier, who it fights up a weight class. So, I mean, he's beating everyone else in the division, and I love Arnold Allen. I think Arnold Allen is legit, but, you know, his signature win is Calvin Kattar, and Calvin got hurt in that fight, right? So he's beat Dan Hooker, he's beat Sadiq Youssef. I don't feel like he's fought anyone on Max Holloway's level, and we saw what Holloway did to Kattar. I mean, he really put it on Calvin pretty badly in that fight. You said decision, so you feel like Arnold Allen is going to test him. Do you think he wins a round or 2, or do you feel like Max is going to be winning the majority of the rounds here?
I can see Arnold Allen maybe coming out hard. I think Arnold might have the advantage early on, but Max, I feel, has just like way more championship round experience to know how to get this fight into those rounds. You know, I don't think Max Holloway is egotistical at all. I don't think he needs a knockout. I don't think he, needs any particular type of win. I think he's just super good at playing the game, and he's been playing the game a lot longer than Arnold Allen, facing way higher competition, that he's just going to, solve the puzzle of Arnold Allen, and he won't care if it takes 5 rounds to do it.
Mm-hmm. And we saw, Max, he beat Yair Rodriguez, who's taking on Volkanovski next for the title. I thought it was interesting. I saw in an interview that he did before this fight, he said he's gained a lot of motivation and inspiration from watching Israel Adesanya go in there and finally beat Pereira. Do you feel like if he makes a statement here that there's a chance we might see another matchup with Volkanovski, or is that ship sailed?
I don't know if Arnold Allen is the test that it would take to know if Max is ready for Volk. I truly, honestly, like even with Pereira and Izzy, I didn't think Izzy had a chance. I doubted him totally, honestly, just because, you've been beaten 3 times by this guy, and he's, put you out. I think 2 of those 3, if not all 3, or something like that. Like, it's just really hard to overcome those mental. Me and my therapist, we call them rope grabbing thoughts, like, what if I get knocked out? What if I'm just not good enough? Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's really hard for someone to get through those mental, thoughts that, it just shows how mentally strong Izzy is. So for Max, it would have to, be a really big test, something like that, to really show his mental toughness. That would bring that out of him to beat Volk, in my opinion.
It's interesting because, I mean, who else is there to fight for him at the top of 145? He's beaten everybody outside of Volkanovski. So, but this right here is such an important fight. He's got to get this win, especially if he wants to stay at 145 and stay at the top of the division. So, really intriguing matchup here. I'm with you. I got Max Holloway by decision. I think Arnold Allen's a game opponent. I think he's going to be in there in Max's face early, but ultimately I'm going with Max Holloway to get the win. So we're on the same page there in the main event. This co-main event, another featherweight bout, really exciting as well. Edson Barboza, Billy Q. Billy Q is the favorite, actually, 170, minus 170. Edson Barboza is the dog, plus 146, plus 148, depending on what site you want to bet on. But man, I keep going back and forth on this one. I want to take Billy, but my head's telling me go with Barboza. How do you feel about this one, Joseph?
Man, I hate to say it, I don't really recognize Billy Q, but Edson's a dog, man, and he'll surprise you most of the time. He's been doing it since he first got into the UFC. He's just so good, dude. And depending on how motivated he is, you know, I I'm probably go with Edson Barboza because I don't know anything about Billy, but I know Edson will shock the world and shock you any any day of the week.
Yeah, and we know how great his stand-up is, right? So I think this is a case where Billy wants to get this fight to the ground. He's high level on the ground, but can he get him there? And the dangers of actually closing the distance to get his opponent Barboza to the ground. I mean, that's a challenge all in itself. I
Yeah,
I mean, I just feel like Barboza is the safe play here. I'm actually surprised that
he's
he's the
a dog.
underdog. I
Me
am.
too.
I'm surprised. So I think just based on that alone, I'm going to go with Barboza as well. But maybe the experts, I guess you could say, in Vegas, maybe they know something that we don't know. I'm just surprised that Billy Q's
I
the
mean, I
favorite.
know they always seem to favorite like these grappler wrestlers, things like that, which I understand, but come on now, that ain't no fight, man. If you just go, dive for my crotch, as Jorge Masvidal would say, the whole fight, man, you ain't even trying to fight.
Yeah, that's true. But Billy Q is a gamer, man. He is a gamer. So who knows? Maybe he's going to stand and bang with Barboza, but that's taking a big chance.
Yeah, nah, not to go off topic. I feel like they should penalize that, man. If you ain't throwing a punch in a certain amount of time, bro, you should be getting points taken away if you're just simply, diving. Like nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, the fans pay big bucks to see two warriors get in there and trade. So we'll see if that happens here in this co-main event. But we're both on the side of Max Holloway in the main event. We're both going Barboza in the co-main event. I'm intrigued to see if you're going to differ from me here in this bout because I'm going to be transparent. DJ's my guy, Dustin Jacoby. I love Dustin Jacoby, the Hanyak. He's the small favorite here, minus 155. His opponent, Azamat Murzakanov, is the dog plus 136. And he's undefeated. He's 12-0. This is a really interesting test for Dustin. We know his stand-up pedigree, how great he is of a striker, of a kickboxer. What do you see in this fight here at 205 pounds? Do you feel like Jacoby's going to get another win, or do you feel like Murzakanov is going to stay undefeated here?
No, man. I mean. Usually, I stay with the undefeated person. Usually, like if they haven't lost, I'm normally saying that. But my man Dustin Jacoby, man, he's so skilled. He's so calculated. He trains at an awesome camp, Factory X in Colorado. He's just super good, man, and he has tons of experience. Like I know this guy. He's fighting. He's probably a wrestler. Going to try and grab him all fight. But his footwork, his targeting with his strikes, it's just gonna be too good for him. I'm going Jacoby all day.
Yeah, I'm going Jacoby as well, and I'm going to be totally transparent. Like I said, I am going with my heart a little bit here. I'm a little nervous about this fight because I want Jacoby to win, but Mirzakanov's no joke. He's 2-0 in the UFC right now. Both of his wins, he's finished his opponent, and he's been in there.
Submission.
He's been no, actually, he beat. Let me just double check here. He beat Devin Clark in the third round by ground and pound, and Tafon Nchukwi, he beat him in the third round by flying knee. So
Huh.
he's well-rounded. He's got some power, but Jacoby's a veteran. He'll see that coming. We know he trains with a bunch of killers, like you said, at Factory X. So I have this one circled, man. This one could be fight of the night. Really intriguing light heavyweight bout here in this one. We'll
Oh,
keep it.
is this light heavy?
This is light heavy.
Oh, okay, I don't know why I thought this was middle. Dustin Jacoby seems like kind of on the smaller end of that weight class, doesn't he? He's a
Maybe.
tall guy. He's a big, tall guy, but he's not like really stocky or nothing.
Yeah, he's not stocky. He's lean. He's well built, but yeah,
Yeah,
I would say he's probably on the smaller end of a lot of the light heavyweights. Some of these guys are massive, but yeah,
yeah, they.
important fight for both of these guys. Murzakanov on the come up. Jacoby, a veteran, wants to get a win after that robbery against Khalil Roundtree. So both of these guys here looking for a big signature win. We'll stay at 205. Ian Cutelaba and Tanner Boser. Cutelaba is the small favorite, minus 135. Tanner Boser's dog, plus 115. Man, this is another one, man. I'm going back and forth. Do you have a thought on who you see winning this fight?
I'm gonna go Cutelaba just because he's a madman, dude, and you gotta be a little psychotic to do this.
So, I mean, we've seen him come out. He comes out strong, Joseph, and he looks to put his opponents away early. Do you
Yeah.
feel like it gets out of the first round?
Man, Tanner or Boser throws heat, you know what I mean, and he moves, and I mean, I could see somebody getting caught early. Hopefully, Cutelaba kind of slows things down because that's got him in trouble. You know what I mean? In the very recent past. So I think we also have like a fight of the night opportunity in this fight as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Boser's coming off a loss to Nascimento. On the other hand, Cutelaba, he's lost 3 in a row. Granted, he's been in there with high-level competition, losses to Ryan Spann, Johnny
Yep.
Walker, Kennedy Njoku. So he needs this win. He needs to get back in the win column here. Otherwise, you never know. I mean, the UFC could cut him if he doesn't get a win here. So I'm going to go with Cutelaba as well. I feel like he's going to come out fighting for his job. And he's going to get it done. And I would say early, probably the first round.
Yeah.
Chris Gutierrez and Pedro Munhoz. This one is really a high level bantamweight bout. Gutierrez, the favorite, minus 205. Pedro Munhoz, the dog, plus 175. How do you see this fight playing out?
These guys are a little smaller, so knockout factor is not super involved in this fight. So, and it's kind of up in the air. The records are pretty close. He's not favored by much either, Chris, right?
Right.
Chris. Yeah. I mean, I'd probably stick with the favorite here.
All right. Gutierrez, minus 205. He's got 4 wins in a row. He retired Frankie Edgar, a legend. He beat him in the first round. His last time out. Before that, Bat Jarrell, Dana, Felipe Colares, and Andre Ewell. So some nice wins there. On the other side, Pedro Munhoz, he is coming off the no contest to Sean O'Malley. Before that, losses to Dominic Cruz and Jose Aldo. So he's been in there with the highest of high level competition. So this is a step up, I'd say, for Gutierrez, because he got Frankie Edgar on the way out. Edgar was not vintage Frankie Edgar. So it's going to be interesting to see if the odds are accurate here, or if, Pedro Munhoz, as the dog here, pulls the small upset.
Yeah, we'll see. But I think it's a good fight for both guys to kind of just test it. I don't think it's really super scary for either guy, but I think Pedro's going to be a lot more desperate. So
you may be right. We'll go up a couple of weight classes for this next one. Clay Guida and Rafa Garcia. Clay Guida, plus 220 as the dog. Garcia is the favorite, minus 260. Man, Clay Guida is in his 40s now. Can he still do it?
Well, he grapples his ass off. You know what I mean? So, he's probably one of the very few guys that I can love for just trying to grapple fuck you.
But he comes in wild too. Like he throws a lot of heat. He'll sit in the pocket and throw. Do you feel like he's going to be maybe a little bit more technical in this fight, or do you think we're going to see vintage Clay Guida, where he's just going to come in and look to take his opponent's head off?
Well, Clay's no dummy. You know what I mean? I don't know if he would sit in the pocket with someone he feels like he can't do that with. So I don't know. Hopefully I see a prime Clay Guida. I see he's still been staying busy with like grappling tournaments and different things. So, I always love to see him with success. Clay's a guy I have a lot of respect for. So I really do hope to see him shine. And I think he can. I think he has a good opponent to do so.
Yeah. Well, his opponent, Garcia, has a UD win over Mahachete most recently. That was in December. He's got some losses to Drakkar Klose, Chris Grutzenmarker, Nasrat Hasparas. So he's been in there with some high-level competition, but we'll see if the Carpenter, the fan favorite, can get in the win column here in this one. TJ Brown is back, and he's a Kansas City guy. You know TJ really well, downtown TJ Brown. He's the dog here against Bill Algeo. TJ Brown plus 175, Algeo minus 205. What are we going to see here in this featherweight matchup?
TJ works hard. Hey, baby girl, your car's outside. So sorry. So sorry. Yeah, I hope she heard me. I'm not going to repeat that. But TJ works hard, man. I've been following him since I met him probably 2-3 years ago. And this guy's all over the place training. He's a lot like me. He travels different camps. And yeah, TJ works super duper hard. I believe he can pull it off. He does have a tough opponent. But I think TJ has the tools to win. He has great footwork, great hands. He's actually a really good MMA fighter. He mixes things up. He does look for takedowns, but man, TJ's nice. But I think we could see a good TJ.
If TJ does get this win, do you feel like it's going the distance, or do you feel like he's going to get another finish? What kind of a fight do you think we're going to see him implement here in this featherweight bout?
I mean, I've been seeing him in Thailand. I could see him maybe set up some nice head kicks. He has really good footwork, so I could see him being a lot better with mixing his kicks in with the strikes. He's always been like a high combination kind of guy. So, yeah, I think we could see him finish with maybe a head kick or flying knees, even something like that, like catching the guy up top, because he has great hands and he throws combos, but he also catches those angles. So, yeah, I think we can see a really good TJ. And plus, he's been in Thailand, so that helped Khalil Roundtree, if you remember that, when he went out to Thailand for some time and came back a monster.
And he's coming off a round 3 win over Eric Silva at UFC 282, which he was the underdog going into that fight as well. So, and he told me, the underdog means nothing to him. He's just going to go in there, fight his fight, and let the cards fall where they may. But I'm with you too here. I think you get some dog money on TJ Brown. You take it against Bill Algeo. So,
yeah,
interesting one there. Brandon Royval and Matheus Nicolau is up next. And man, these guys are at the top of the division. A title shot could be around the corner. Royval's the dog, plus 180. Matheus Nicolau is the favorite, minus 210. Man, and this is another one. I feel like I keep going back and forth on a lot of these fights. I want to take Royval, but something's pulling me towards Nicolau. I'm going back and forth. What do you see in this one?
I like Royval, man. I'd love to see him win. Royval's a beast. Excuse me. And he's tricky. He comes out of nowhere with different things. I'm going Royval with this, with the upset.
Do you think he gets a finish? I know he prides himself in getting finishes like a lot of fighters in the UFC obviously do, but do you feel like he gets him out of there, or is this going to be a hard-fought decision win?
It'll definitely be a hard-fought fight. I could see him sneaking something in there because, again, he is sneaky and tricky. But he's fighting a tough-ass dude. I see a decision here.
Yeah, Nicolau's no joke. Well, Royval beat Matt Schnell, round 1 guillotine choke his last time out. Before that, he had a split win over Rogerio Bontorin. Let's take a look at Nicolau real quick. 19-2-1 is his record. That is very, very impressive.
Yeah.
He's got some big wins too. Matt Schnell, David Dvorak, Tim Elliott, Manel Kopp. Yeah, he's been in there with high level competition. So this is a fight that I know all the flyweights out there are going to have circled to watch, because top of the division here, a win for either one of these guys moves them right into that discussion for maybe a potential eliminator title fight. Who knows? But intriguing one there. We'll go up to 205. Ed Herman and Zak Cummings. Zak Cummings a little bit. He's the favorite, minus 220. Ed Short Fuse Herman, the veteran fighter, plus 185. How do you see this one shaking out?
I don't know if Zak has much experience with those big boys hitting on him. You know what I mean? He's been a little smaller. I have sparred with him, and he's very good and technical. Plus, he's a welterweight coming up, so you're gonna have that, speed advantage, or he's gonna have that speed advantage. He's probably gonna expend more energy looking for those, combinations with kicks and things like that. But he's also a great grappler. He's a phenomenal grappler. I haven't seen Ed Herman fight too much, but he does have a lot of experience at a heavier weight class, and that could play a huge factor in the strikes that he takes. So I'm gonna go with my man Zak Cummings with the knockout in the second.
So Ed Herman is in his 40s. He's getting a little bit longer in the tooth for the fight game, but Zak Cummings, he's 38 as well. And the last time we did see him fight, Joseph, was in August of 2020, a UD win over Alessio De Chirico. Do you feel like that time off could affect him here in this one?
Both guys have spent some time off. You know what I mean? Zak Cummings also hasn't fought in a while due to like some back injury and stuff like that. So I don't know if I think both it'll be a nice test to see where both guys are. You know,
Ed
um,
Her-
I'm
Ed
sorry.
fought August in 2021, so it's been a while for him too. But with Zak not fighting since 2020, I mean that seems like a very extensive layoff.
Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I've sparred with him plenty, and he looked phenomenal. And he's caught me in different strikes, and um, I don't ever just have his numbers. So I think he's going to be in really good shape as far as like going back and forth with high level MMA guys. So
All right. Well, everyone likes watching the big boys fight. So interesting to see what Zak Cummings is going to do moving up to 205 against the veteran Ed Herman. Now, Gillian Robertson is back in action against Piera Rodriguez. And this is, well, I thought it was a pick 'em, but no, it looks like the line has moved a little bit. Robertson is the favorite minus 130, Rodriguez plus 110. And Robertson is a submission specialist. If this gets to the ground, she's looking for a sub here. Do you think that's what we're going to see out of Gillian Robertson, or will Piera Rodriguez stay undefeated?
well, you know how I feel about undefeated fighters, and I'm not super familiar with either of these, so I am going to go with the undefeated fighter. You better watch out. Watch out for Rodriguez.
Yeah, Piera Rodriguez, she's got a UD win over Sam Hughes, UD win over Kay Hansen, a UD win in her Contender Series debut against Valessa Machado. So that right there, that's interesting to me because, Gillian Robertson's been around for a long time. And if this goes the distance, that's a lot of time for the fight to hit the ground for Robertson to utilize her BJJ. So I'm going to go with the upset here. I feel like Rodriguez suffers her first L. Gillian Robertson gets a sub late, maybe third round. So that's what I'm picking here for this one. And that is Robertson Rodriguez. Lando Venata is back in action against Daniel Zellhuber. And this is another very close fight. Venata, the dog, plus 105. Zellhuber, minus 125. Do you have a hunch one way or the other in this fight?
I'm going for Daniel Zellhuber. I'm pretty sure he beat my boy Trey Ogden, if I'm not mistaken. And Trey's a freaking animal.
Yeah, he
So
is.
yeah, I'm gonna go with my boy Daniel.
Well,
You
let's
said
see.
he's the upset. I mean, he's the favorite.
Zellhuber is actually the favorite. Yeah, he's the favorite against Venata.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm going with the favorite here.
And so he lost to Trey Ogden, a
Oh,
UD
did he lose
loss.
too?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yep.
remember them fighting, but it was a really good fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was back and forth. That was a really good one, and he's still kind of new in the UFC. He hasn't been around a whole lot. This will actually be his second fight in the biggest promotion in the world. So we'll see what he can do against Venata. Venata is a veteran. I mean, I don't know if you remember his fight against Tony Ferguson back in the day.
Oh, wasn't it a war?
Well, he had Ferguson on the ropes, like he was close to being finished. He survived and ended up finishing Venata, but that kind of like surged Venata into the mainstream MMA fans. The highlights, they knew who he was after that one, but he's had some losses intertwined with some wins. So we'll see if he can get back in the win column here. But as you said, Zellhuber, he's no joke. He's a young up and comer, so tough test there. The last three fights on the card, Joseph, are younger fighters that are trying to make a name in the promotion. Denise Gomez against Bruno Brasil, very close fight there. Gomez plus 130, Brasil minus 150 as the favorite. I don't know a whole lot about either one of them. Aaron Phillips, Gaston Bolanos, another close fight. Lucy Pudlova against Jocelyn Edwards, another one that's very close as far as the odds go. I don't know about you, but for me, not knowing a whole lot about some of these younger fighters and the odds being so close, I stay away from those just because
Yeah.
it's not a smart bet unless you feel like you know something about one of those fighters that is going to give them a significant advantage in these fights. But I do not, so I'm staying away from this from a betting aspect.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay.
I don't bet, but if I did,
You'd be with me on that. Okay. Well, that runs through the whole card. So when you look at it, is there one or two fights that stand out the most to you that you feel very confident about, that you would throw some money down if you were a betting man?
yeah, I think that I would confidently put some money on TJ Brown. He works super hard, and outside of somebody that I know and support, I see the work being put in. So I would definitely do that if I bet, but I don't. And then my man Dustin Jacoby, he has a lot of experience. And he's no slouch. He's fought a lot of some of the best guys, and he has a tough challenge. But I think this is the perfect challenge for him to step up and get into some of those championship talks. So
I like that. Yeah, I again with TJ Brown being the underdog, you can win some money on him right there. Plus 175 against Bill Algeo and DJ. I'll always bet on DJ. He's a small favorite, minus 155 against Murzakanov, who's plus 135. So intriguing bouts there. I'm with my man Joseph Holmes on both of those ones, and I'd also throw some money down on Max Holloway to get a win. I mean, you can't go wrong betting on a legend like Max Holloway, former champion, and he wants to get back in the win column to get another crack at the title. So we'll see what happens in the main event. But another great show. Always great talking to you, my man. And for all you out there, make sure you subscribe to the All Access MMA YouTube channel, and we will see you guys next time.